Research, Innovation, and Advocacy for Sustainable Development, RIDES 2026. By bringing together researchers, innovation, and advocacy for sustainable institutional leaders from Mexico, Colombia, Romania, by bringing and Norway, together researchers, aims to build powerful networks and spark innovative solutions for sustainable development. Muy buenos días tengan todos ustedes. En nombre de la Universidad Politécnica de Atlacomulco y de las instituciones organizadoras, les damos la más cordial bienvenida al primer Congreso Internacional Investigación, Innovación e Incidencia para el Desarrollo Sostenible, RIDES 2026. Este espacio reúne investigadores, estudiantes y representantes institucionales de México, Colombia, Rumania, Noruega y otros países con el propósito de fortalecer redes de colaboración e impulsar soluciones para el desarrollo sostenible. Today, Today, we are honored to kick off the academic sessions of this Congress, listening to Dr. Magdalena Ungureanu Iuga, renowned international researcher who has dedicated her career to advancing agri-food innovations and sustainable resource use. Today, she presents her keynote lecture, Designing Next-Generation Functional Foods in a case studies on the valorization of food byproducts using physical-chemical modifications. Para dar inicio a las actividades académicas del Congreso, tenemos el honor de recibir a una distinguida investigadora internacional, cuya trayectoria ha contribuido significativamente al desarrollo de la innovación agroalimentaria y la valorización sostenible de recursos. La conferencia magistral que hoy nos comparte lleva por título Designing Next Generation Functional Foods, a case studies on the valorization of food byproducts using physical-chemical modifications. But before she begins, here is a short look at her professional biography. Our keynote speaker, Dr. Magdalena Ungureanu Iuga, joins us from Romania, where she serves as a professor and researcher at the Stefan Cel Meyer University. Since receiving her doctorate in 2021, Dr. Iuga has become a leading voice in food engineering, specializing in pasta technology, byproduct valorization, and functional food systems. With a rich portfolio of European research projects, over 50 index papers, and several patents, her global perspective is well known to our region, having completed a pivotal research residency in the state of Mexico in 2018 that deeply strengthened our international academic bonds. La doctora Magdalena Ungureanu Iuga es una investigadora y profesora de la Facultad de Ingeniería Alimentaria de la Universidad de Stefan Cel Meyer y del Centro de Economía de Montaña del Instituto Nacional de Investigaciones Económicas en Rumania. Obtuvo un doctorado en Ingeniería de Productos Alimentarios en 2021 y desarrolla investigación sobre la valorización de subproductos agroindustriales, tecnología de pastas, reología de masas y alimentos funcionales. Cuenta con más de 50 artículos indexados en Web of Science, varios libros y capítulos de libros, así como patentes nacionales e internacionales. Realizó una estancia de investigación en el Estado de México en el año 2018, lo cual permitió desarrollar lazos académicos con México. Ha participado en proyectos de investigación europeos e internacionales y realiza actividades docentes y de investigación de alto impacto científico en el área de alimentos. Please help me now to welcome Dr. Magdalena Ungureanu Iuga, por favor. Un aplauso para ella. No sé si podamos hacerlo en línea. Muchísimas gracias. Le damos el micrófono ahora, doctora. Muy bienvenida.
Muchas gracias. Thank you very much for your warm welcome. So I will try to share again my screen. Just tell me if everything is okay and if you can see the presentation.
We can see it, doctor.
Okay. So you talked a little bit about my work. The presentation I will talk about today, it's somehow a summary of my research projects until now. So it's a mix of all my research topics. I'm, as you mentioned already, I'm working mostly with the valorization of food byproducts, but also I try to enhance the physical chemical properties and sensory properties of the foods, because it's a real challenge to have functional foods with high fiber content, but with good sensory and functional properties. So the main objectives of this review of my papers it was to improve the nutritional value of cereal-based products. I'm working mostly with bread, pasta, and extruded products, but also with other kinds of foods, by using these agro-industrial byproducts: grape pomace, carrot pomace, tomato pomace, and so on. This is a challenge because we have to optimize the functional properties and structure and sensory attributes of the food. So this presentation will highlight the use of these byproducts in different food matrices to create other value-added products with some kind of innovative aspects. And also I will present you some possibilities to use physical-chemical treatments like heat moisture treatment, dry heat treatment, nixtamalization, you already know, I think, extrusion to modify the starch and protein structure of these food matrices, to prepare them to insert the pomaces, so the fiber-rich ingredients. There is a global concern today about using the food industry byproducts because they usually create environment problems. So they are rich in many bioactive compounds, and then they can be used as ingredients in food industry and not only. And starch-based systems like pasta, bread, snacks are very good matrices that can be used to introduce these ingredients, these byproducts. And we will obtain foods with better fiber content, better mineral, vitamins, and antioxidant activities. But these advantages should be looked also with some technological challenges, because usually the use of high amounts of pomaces generates some technological problems and sensory problems. So the consumer will look first of all to the sensory aspects, so the sensory profile of the product. And this is why we can use some physical chemical treatments to modify the starch and protein functionality of the flours used as a base ingredient in these foods. Usually I have been working with wheat flour and maize flour as the main ingredients, the main base ingredients in my researches, but also I use some sorghum grains, and as a byproduct, I used mostly grape pomace, carrot pomace, tomato pomace, and we developed with one of my colleagues here in our university pasta product using spent brewer's yeast, so the beta glucan extracted from spent brewer's yeast. Also, I have worked in other research topics using whey powder in pasta, germinated legume flours in bread, and quinoa and other pseudo cereals in bread. Usually, almost all the first steps in research, like I will present you, is the conditioning of the raw materials. Usually, we dry the seeds or the grape hummus or carrot hummus or hummuses in general. We dry it, we grind it, we sieve it to obtain different particle sizes, because I also worked with influence of particle size on the final product quality. So quinoa, grape hummus, sorghum flour were fractionated into different particle sizes to see the composition and the effects of these particle sizes on the final product. Then some of the parameters of the physicochemical modifications. For heat moisture treatment, I used moisture contents of 40 to 30%, temperature from 60 to 100 degrees Celsius, and time from 1 to 3 hours. Also, for dry heat treatment of sorghum grains, we use different temperatures from 121 to 144 for a short time, only 50 minutes, and different particle sizes, large, medium, and small particle sizes. For maize extrusion, we obtain some extruded snacks using high temperature, short processing time, and using a single screw extruder. For maize nixtamalization, I didn't put any parameter, because maybe you know better than me that this treatment is with lime and temperature to increase the nutritional value of maize. Also, I have studied together with a group from our university in a project the impact of germination of some legumes for 4 days on bread quality. As I mentioned, in another collaboration, I'm working with beta glucan extracted from brewer's spent yeast, following an alkaline acid extraction, then the debittering and cell lysis steps. Tomato pomace was used to obtain some kind of ketchup using rehydration and heat treatment at different temperatures. And regarding the final product analysis of the dough analysis, for dough analysis we use rheological tests, dynamic oscillatory tests, farinograph, alveograph, consistograph, Foley number, fermentometer. These are used for pasta and bread dough. Texture profile analysis can be used to analyze the texture of the dough or the final product. Structural characterization was made using infrared spectroscopy to see the protein and starch structure. We also used some microscopy techniques to see the 3D surface of the pasta, for example. The fluorescence microscopy to see the structure of the bread dough, and scanning electronic microscopy. This can be applied to all kinds of final products, pasta, bread, snacks, and so on. And also the sensory evaluation using different methods. So check all that apply method or hedonic scale. This is one of the most important steps, because if our consumer don't like our product, it means we have to work a little bit more on it. Also very important, the approximate composition, the nutritional value of the products, because we intend to increase the nutritional value. Also the bioactive compounds, total polyphenols, antioxidant activity. This is a measure of how we can improve these parameters, because usually different kind of fruit and legume and vegetal pomaces are rich in polyphenols and antioxidant activity. Also, another important parameter is the digestibility of starch. This is mainly applied when we use some modifications, some physical modification like heat moisture treatment of flours, because we can change the structure of starch, and the most desirable, so the most wanted starch fraction is resistant starch, because it decreases the glycemic index. So if we can increase this resistant starch, it will be very good for our final product. Other nutrient profilings included amino acids, fatty acid, mineral, and volatile compounds from the final product and from flours. Obviously, every research ends with statistical analysis. Usually, I'm using principal component analysis correlation and the response surface methodology with desirability functions to find the optimal addition level, for example, or the optimal processing parameters, using a multi response optimization. So this is a good approach for industry also. Now I will talk about some of my results I have obtained until now, and some photos. All these results are already published, so they can be found on my Google Scholar or on Web of Science profile. One of my first projects I've been working during my master's studies was the incorporation of grape pomace in flour, grape pomace flour in bread. You can see in this image how bread looks like. We used two kinds of grape pomace from white and red varieties. So our results indicated that a good replacement level will be between 3 and 9% maximum, and the finest particle size is recommended from a sensory point of view. We observed an increase in dough hardness, so the dough became more hard. And also the elastic and viscous component of the dough increased compared to the control, but this increase depends on the particle size. But finally, consumers accepted this kind of product, and they give us good marks for this product. And usually they are associated a darker product, as you see in the image, with healthiness. So, or with the term rich in fibers. So this was a positive attitude of the consumers on the product we developed. Another part of project, this was actually small part of half a part of my PhD thesis, the addition of grape peels in pasta, and the optimal or the recommended levels were between 3 and 5%. We obtained some better nutritional and functional properties. And I observed, it can be observed also in the table, that the total polyphenols and fiber contents increased, which was desired because this is what we wanted actually. Even if some of the quality characteristics like cooking loss increased, the increase was not so dramatic, so this increase was kept within acceptable limits according to the to other published papers. And we also here in the images on the right screen, we can see that the rawness of the pasta, so the surface was more has a bigger rawness. Another kind of pasta we have developed was pasta with carrot pomace. We obtained a functional product with higher fiber and minerals content and also yellow pigments. Usually consumers associated these yellow pigments with presence of eggs, but the pasta were made only with common or durum wheat flour. You can see in this image that the control sample obtained the worst sensory scores. So our enhanced pasta products were more appreciated by consumers. And the optimal levels varied depending on the carrot pomace variety. We studied 4 carrot pomace varieties, and the optimal levels in durum wheat flour were between 6 and about 9% of addition, while for common wheat, these percentages were higher, from 8 to about 11%. So we can say that we can use common wheat flour with carrot pomace, and we can incorporate in this matrix higher amounts of carrot pomace, and also with very good acceptability from sensory point of view. The beta-glucan extracted from brewer's yeast in pasta was introduced in durum, also in durum and common wheat flour. Here in Romania, we have somehow a problem regarding the use of durum wheat flour, because it's expensive, and usually pasta here in our country is made from common wheat flour, so using bread flour actually. But obviously the quality is not the same, and we are trying to change the functionality of common flour to reach the quality of a durum flour in pasta actually. So we wanted to include this beta-glucan in pasta using 1% optimal inclusion. We varied the percent from 0 to 4% maximum, because there is an international law that admits only 1% of beta-glucan from brewer's yeast in food. This is why we stopped to maximum 1%, even if we tested from physical point and rheological point of view, even 4% additional level. And we observed, even at these small amounts, we observed some changes in the content in the rheological properties, because beta-glucan is polysaccharide with many immunological benefits. we observed that the elastic and viscous moduli were smaller as the addition level increased. And in the right part of the screen, you can see the micrographs of the pasta. You can see some of the starch grains, and the particles of beta-glucan are spread between starch grain and the protein matrix of the dough. Another project, I was part from a bigger project of one of my colleagues regarding the introduction of germinated legume flours in wheat bread. The objective of this project was to enhance the alpha amylase activity of weak flours. So we had bad quality flour, so a low quality flour. And the research group tried to increase this alpha amylase activity by using germinated legumes. Here is an example using chickpea at about 1.5% additional level and lupin at 5.3%. And we obtained an enhanced volume of the bread, final volume of the bread. Obviously, the alpha amylase activity increased, so this is confirmation of our hypothesis, or so we attended our objective. And we can see in this image, in the left side is the control sample, and on the right side is the optimal sample with chickpea and lupin. We see a better structure. So with red are marked the proteins, and with green we can see the starch grains. So we can observe that the protein matrix was stronger. So we obtained a better dough structure using these germinated legume flours. And consequently, we obtained a better bread quality. Another bread formulation, this was part of another project of one of my colleagues I've been working with. The use of quinoa fractions in wheat bread. So she included between 5 and 20% quinoa with different particle sizes in bread, and we tried to see the effect and the optimal addition levels. So our conclusion was that maximum 50%, 15% will be recommended to add in bread, because we obtained it at 20%, not so very good low volume. So the volume and porosity and elasticity of the bread final product was not so good. Generally, up to this 50% additional level, the elasticity and volume and porosity were enhanced, so were better than those of the control. You can see also in this photo in the right side. And also regarding the dough technological properties, we obtained a little bit harder dough, depending on the particle size, and the adhesiveness of the dough decreased, which is good, because we don't want to have a dough which is very stitchy to adhere on the machine. So this was a good parameter. So this was one of the advantages of adding quinoa fractions in wheat bread. Okay, next, let's see something different, because I talked until now about bread and pasta. We also used tomato pomace in suspension to make some kind of ketchup product. Like we used different concentrations of tomato pomace, 15, 20, and 25%, and we used also different temperatures. From 60 to 95 degrees Celsius, and the best formulation was obtained at 95 degrees Celsius and 25% concentration. So this was the best consistency and mechanical rigidity. This is how we demonstrated that after obtaining the tomato juice, we can use the remaining parts, so the pomace, to create other kind of sauce or other kind of toppings, for example, in salads and so on. And this is how we add value to this tomato pomace, because if you throw it or if you use it in feed animals, maybe it's not the best way to recycle this byproduct. Then the second part of my experiments, and somehow they are mixed. This is another part of my PhD thesis. Actually, I have treated wheat flour by using heat moisture treatment. So I increased the moisture, and I kept the flour in different temperature levels to see how the structure and how the starch and proteins are modified. For example, in common wheat pasta with no additions, I obtained about 85 degrees Celsius treatment for 1 hour and about 27% moisture. But when I added also the grape peels in the matrix, the temperature optimal will be about 65% for 3 hours, and also the moisture flows about 27%. And an additional level of grape peels of about 5%, a little bit less than 5%. So the infrared spectroscopy analysis showed us that the structure of starch changed, and this is what we wanted, because we wanted to increase the resistance starch, and this objective was achieved. And also the protein structure was changed. You can see the control with blue, and how this conformation, so the structure of protein changed after heat moisture treatment. And these are the pasta samples obtained in these conditions. Another research regarding the dry heat treatment of sorghum grains was applied for 50 minutes, depending on the particle size, and the temperature was established depending on each particle size. Has different temperature for treatment. For small one, for example, it was 121. For medium particle size, 132. And for large particle size, 140 degrees Celsius. We obtained some changes in dough resistance to deformation. Also, the amino acid profile of the grains changed. And one of the most important and desired changes was regarding the fatty acid, because we intended to enhance the nutritional value of the grains to obtain functional products further. And the saturated fatty acids decreased, and the mono and polyunsaturated fatty acids, which are desired, increased. So this was very good thing to us, because we demonstrated that we can enhance the nutritional value of sorghum by applying this simple heating treatment to them. Another part of my research project, actually this is the most one of the most recent one, because this was part of a research project, a national research project, the use of extrusion to obtain maize snacks with grape pomace. One of the objectives was to use high amounts of grape pomace to obtain functional snacks, because the demand today for this ready-to-eat products is increasing. So we tried different levels of seedless and whole grape pomace, from 10 to 40%. And we used maize as a control to obtain, as you see in the right photo, the snacks, the extruded snacks. And the optimal values were 30% of seedless grape pomace, so there were grape peels actually, and 20% whole grape pomace, including the seeds. We obtained also, apart from the fiber content increase and antioxidant activity, we also observed an increase in resistant starch content, which was desired. So this is how we can justify the increase in nutritional value, apart of the fibers and bioactive compounds increase. One of the disadvantages was the decrease in expansion ratio. So you can see, as the amount of grape peels increased or grape pomace increased, the expansion ratio was not so good, but this is why we have to optimize the additional level to have a compromise between high nutritional value and the minimal or the acceptable limits of the sensory characteristics of the final product. Another kind of pasta I have developed was gluten-free nixtamalized corn pasta. So I used nixtamalized corn flour from Arimasa, I guess it was, if I remember well. So it was a commercial one. I mixed it with whey powder and grape peels to obtain some gluten-free products. We improved the nutritional and functional properties of the final product, because we obtained very good sensory properties because of the whey powder. And we also improved the fiber content of the final product. Obviously, we had to find the compromise between the best nutritional quality and the sensory properties, because we are talking about gluten-free products, and this is very difficult to maintain texture and the integrity of pasta, and this is why we used whey powder to help us in this regard. We saw some enhancement of the fracturability, for example, which is the force required to break the pasta. So it increased if we added whey and grape peels. So this will be good for transportation. And also we obtained some increase in firmness because of the dough matrix strengthening effect of grape peels and also of whey powder, because it's a source of proteins. So, some conclusions. There is an actual trend nowadays to use these byproducts and to create sustainable foods to reduce the carbon footprint of foods and to put value to these valuable byproducts, usually being high, being rich in polyphenols and in that antioxidants and fibers. If we talk about fruits, pomaces, for example, or vegetable pomaces. Also, we have to take care to adapt our matrices. So, talking about flours and starch systems, we have to be careful to the additional level, because fibers usually have some negative effects on the structure. Also, we can use some of the treatments like heat moisture treatment that I applied with flour to reorganize the starch structure, to increase the resistant starch and to change the protein conformations to obtain better and balanced, let's say, texture and sensory properties. Also, nixtamalization, which enhances the calcium content, the calcium availability of maize and the protein quality. It can be used to adapt these matrices and to prepare them to add these fiber-rich ingredients like pomaces. Extrusion can be used to develop ready-to-eat snacks by modifying also the starch digestibility, in fact, by increasing the resistant starch, because this is a goal to decrease the glycemic index of this kind of foods, which usually it's very high. And also the use of ingredients like pomaces to create some other products like suspensions, or not only snacks and bread and bakery products. These products will have important polyphenols content, so they will have enhanced radical activity and polyphenols content, and also fibers, obviously, depending on the fiber, on the additional level and on the content of fibers of the ingredient used. Usually the pasta, and not only pasta, but also bread and other food products with grape pomace have darker colors, which is associated by consumers usually with healthiness, so with healthy products, with products which are rich in fibers. So this is good, and this is an advantage. A disadvantage in pasta, for example, is the use for the use of pomaces is the increasing cooking loss, but we have to be careful to the additional level. And if we talk about bread, we have to take into consideration the volume of the final product, because usually pomaces decrease the volume of the bread. So some other ingredients like beta-glucan or germinated legume flours can change the technological and rheological properties of the dough, but also increases the nutritional value and the functional value of the final product. So we talk about the addition level optimization. Some further research perspectives that I'm taking into consideration are regarding the determination of bioactive compounds in terms of individual polyphenols and the effects of this kind of products, of these formulations in different diets. So actually, we talk about trying this kind of products to see how they can modify glycemic response, for example, in different kind of consumers, healthy or maybe which are suffering from diabetes or some other medical conditions. So these are the references. Actually, they are our publications, so they can be found on Web of Science. Most of all are open science, so they are free to be accessed. If you have some questions or you need one of these papers and there is no access, don't worry, you can contact me and we can talk because we are open. We are open to all kinds of collaborations. Thank you.
No, thank you, doctor. Thank you for all this insight, and most importantly, because you are sharing it with all of us. Thank you very much. So we do have some questions.
Yes, it's also in the chat.
I know. Do you want me to present them in Spanish, or do you want me to present them in English?
For me, it's the same. I can respond in English or in Spanish as they want. Maybe it's easier in Spanish. I don't know.
All right, I will do so. Tengo una muy grande, le extienden un gran reconocimiento, doctora. Dice, antes que nada, muchas felicidades por su presentación. Me pareció muy interesante la manera en que integró diferentes ingredientes y tratamientos para mejorar las propiedades nutricionales y tecnológicas de los productos panificados. Mi pregunta es, considerando que varios de los ingredientes utilizados, como las leguminosas germinadas, la quinoa y el bagazo de tomate, también aportan compuestos bioactivos y microbiota asociada, ¿han evaluado o contemplan evaluar cómo estas formulaciones podrían influir en la estabilidad microbiológica, la vida útil o incluso en el potencial funcional de los productos obtenidos?
Sí, muchas gracias por su pregunta. En algunos de nuestros estudios sí hemos investigado también esa parte microbiológica y esa parte de caducidad del producto. También en los que estamos trabajando aún, los que están más recientes o estamos trabajando, vamos también a considerar ese aspecto. Y también podemos extender nuestros estudios con, por ejemplo, a ver cómo esos productos pueden influenciar nuestro microbiota, o sea, cómo pueden accionar en el organismo humano.
Muchísimas gracias. Pues yo exactamente, Dorunecula, muchas gracias por el aplauso. Tiene ahí el reconocimiento de bastantes de nuestros asistentes, doctora. No sé si existe alguna otra pregunta o tengamos tiempo aún de presentar otra pregunta.
En el chat hay preguntas.
En el chat, sí.
En el chat tenemos preguntas. Ok. All right. Nos pregunta Doru Negula, dice, con tu experiencia con productos de la región rumana y con la experiencia comparativa que hay en el Estado de México. En México tenemos el potencial para innovar en productos regionales. ¿Puedes darnos un ejemplo con tu experiencia, por ejemplo, con el tejocote?
Sí, es que el tejocote acá lo tenemos, pero es otra especie y también lo he estudiado aquí y fue una gran sorpresa cuando lo vi en México. Me pareció, bueno, no es el mismo color, es otra especie, pero sí tiene casi las mismas propiedades porque vine en Rumania y lo busqué y a ver cómo puedo compararlo. También hice un producto que es patentado, o sea, ya salió el patente este año a base de tejocote, del tejocote. Es un producto sin azúcar. Bueno, sí, eso sí sería muy interesante, a ver cómo poder comparar de alguna forma. Eso puede ser también un tema de un proyecto de colaboración entre México y Rumania, cómo poder comparar el tejocote de acá y el tejocote de ahí.
Oh. Qué gran noticia saber que tenemos efectivamente pues una fruta, en este caso nosotros lo sabemos como fruta, de que tengamos tanto, que compartamos esto, ¿no? Bueno, ya aprendí algo el día de hoy. Muchísimas gracias.
Es que
Sí.
tenemos muchísimas cosas en común. Yo me sentí como en mi casa en México, o sea, somos muy parecidos en muchos aspectos.
Muchísimas gracias, pues ojalá y que pues todo mundo tengamos pues la oportunidad de efectivamente, ¿no? De viajar y de conocernos de toda esta cultura que luego nos perdemos, ¿verdad?
Sí, así es.
De conocer. Pues muchísimas gracias, doctora. Yo me voy a atrever ahora a, pues no sé si los organizadores me permitan ahora presentarle su reconocimiento.
Adelante, por favor.
¿Sí? Okay, so we would really like to thank you, Dr. Madalena, for your presentation. It would truly help and enhance our audience knowledge for today, and I'm sure academically it will certainly help them all. All right, so a big thank you to you. If you allow me, I'm going to present our keynote speaker with a recognition of participation. And it says, on behalf of the organizing committee on the First International Congress, RIDES 2026, we deeply appreciate the outstanding participation of Dr. Madalena Ungureanu Liuga. We proceed to read the recognition. So the Polytechnic University of Atlacomulco grants this recognition to Dr. Madalena Ungureanu Liuga for her valuable participation as an international keynote speaker, giving the conference entitled Designing Next Generation Functional Foods, Case Studies on the Valorization of Food Byproducts Using Physical-Chemical Modifications, contributing to the strengthening of international scientific cooperation, agri-food innovation, and the next generation of knowledge aimed at sustainable development. Dated June 11th, 2026, signed by Crescencio Reyes Hernandez, Rector of the Polytechnic University of Atlacomulco. Doctor, thank you very much.
Thank you very much for this appreciation. So I'm very glad to see you and to share my experience with you. Also, I'm open to all kind of collaboration. So if you want to talk and to establish some relations regarding the investigation, I'm open. So please, you can ask me, you can contact me with no hesitation.
Thank you very much. Sí, muchísimas gracias. La doctora nos ofrece contactarla en cualquier momento, de cualquier manera. Claro que el comité organizador estaría pues más que dispuesto para establecer estos contactos con la doctora. Muchísimas gracias, doctora, nuestro reconocimiento.
Muchas gracias.
Sí, pues si me permiten ahora vamos a solicitar a las autoridades integrantes del Presidium de Honor activar sus cámaras y mantenerse conectadas para dar inicio a la ceremonia de inauguración del Congreso RIDES 2026. Doctora Sandy, yo quedo atenta a sus indicaciones.
Muchas gracias. Ya nuestras autoridades están listas, estamos ya identificándolas. Muchas gracias por estar puntualmente. Vamos a terminar de hacer el checklist y comenzamos en unos segundos. De momento, por ahí Miguel nos va a proyectar nuestra cortinilla oficial del evento. Denos un par de minutos para comenzar. Gracias.
Quedo atenta.
Hola, estamos organizando la presentación. Un segundo, por favor.
Buen día, perdón, nada más para preguntar si ya se encuentra en la sala la doctora Margarita Rocío Serrano. No la podemos identificar, si nos pudiera apoyar a indicarnos si hay alguien en su representación, por favor.
También la doctora Polanco de la UIT nos pide que habilitemos su cámara, por favor, doctora.
Claro, Janet, en breve lo hacemos. Gracias.
Yes.
Listo, doctora Janet, ya puede activar su cámara, está disponible. Gracias. Adelante, doctora maestra Vero. Vamos a dar inicio, por favor, por respeto a los que ya están esperando desde un momento. Muchas
Sandy,
gracias.
falta el doctor Aníbal del Tecnológico de San Felipe.
Ya
Ya
también
está
se le dio acceso a cámara. Listo.
Ya con nosotros. Ok, pues yo les agradezco y continuamos entonces con nuestras actividades y programa. Doctora, sí, con su permiso. Good morning, distinguished guests, esteemed faculty, delegates, and students. On behalf of the Universidad Politécnica de Tlacomulco, we would like to welcome you to the first International Congress, Research, Innovation, and Advocacy for Sustainable Development, RIDES 2026. We kindly ask you to take your seats and have your devices ready and on silent mode to ensure an uninterrupted experience for everyone. Muy buenos días, les damos la más cordial bienvenida a este primer Congreso Internacional, Investigación, Innovación e Incidencia para el Desarrollo Sostenible, RIDES 2026. Amablemente solicitamos su apoyo para mantener sus micrófonos en modo de silencio para asegurar una experiencia ininterrumpida para cada uno de ustedes. Good morning, ladies and gentlemen. Buenos días a todos. Welcome to the Universidad Politécnica de Tlacomulco. It is an absolute honor to serve you here today in this prestigious event, the first International Congress Research, Innovation, and Advocacy for Sustainable Development, RITES 2026. Today, we bring together global minds, researchers, and innovators to share knowledge and bridge frontiers. As we begin our official program, please join me in welcoming our leaders and honored guests at our main table. We are deeply honored to have with us today Dr. Ion Sordo, Director del Mountain Economic Center, National Institute of Economic Researches, Costin C. Kyriatascu, Romanian Academy. We also are honored to have here today Dr. Víctor Daniel Ávila Ackerberg, Director General del Consejo Mexiquense de Ciencia y Tecnología, el COMECIT. Estamos también honrados de recibir, we are also honored to receive Doctora Margarita Rocío Serrano Barrios, Subsecretaria de Educación Superior y Normal. Contamos también con la presencia del maestro Guillermo Calderón Vega, Director General de Educación Superior. Recibimos, por supuesto, al maestro Crescencio Reyes Hernández, Rector de la Universidad Politécnica de Tlacomulco. Tenemos con nosotros al doctor Francisco Herrera Tapia, Secretario Académico de la Universidad Autónoma del Estado de México. Contamos también con la presencia de la doctora Norma Liliana Galván Mesa, rectora de la Universidad Autónoma de Nayarit. Está con nosotros también la doctora Karina Pérez Robles, coordinadora de la Red de Mujeres de la Ciencia Nayarit, Universidad Autónoma de Nayarit. Nos acompaña también la maestra Laura Méndez Olvera, jefa del Departamento de Economía, Administración y Desarrollo Rural de la Facultad de Medicina Veterinaria y Zootecnia de la UNAM. Nos acompaña también el día de hoy el doctor Aníbal Alberto Mejía Guadarrama, director general del Tecnológico de Estudios Superiores de San Felipe del Progreso. Nos acompaña también la maestra Verónica Martínez Martínez, directora académica del Tecnológico de Estudios Superiores de Ecatepec. Nos honra también con su presencia la maestra Heidi Trujillo Tames, secretaria académica de la Universidad Tecnológica del Valle de Toluca. Está con nosotros también el doctor Diego Alejandro Benavides Sánchez, coordinador del Sistema de Gestión de la Investigación de la Zona Centro Boyacá, Universidad Nacional Abierta y a Distancia, la UNAD de Colombia. También nos acompaña la doctora Janet Cleotilde Polanco Piñeres, Associate Professor, Department of Industrial Engineering, Arctic University of Norway. Dr. also Jose Juan Corona Sánchez, Associate Professor from the same Department of Electrical Engineering at the Arctic University of Norway. Y por supuesto, nuestra anfitriona el día de hoy, la doctora Sandra Blas Yáñez, coordinadora del Congreso RIDES 2026, Universidad Politécnica de Tlacomulco. Let us give them all a warm round of applause. Thank you all for coming. And to deliver the official welcoming address and share the vision behind all this great international Congress, please welcome to the podium Dr. Ion Sordo, Director del Mountain Economic Center, National Institute of Economic Researches, Costin Kyriatascu, Romanian Academy. Doctor.
Good morning at Mexico and good evening here in Romania. Ladies and gentlemen, honored Presidium, dear guests and participants, I'm Dr. Ion Sordo, Director of Mountain Economic Center from Romania. Thank you to Mr. Rector Crescencio Reyes Hernández for including Semund among the organizing partners for the first Congress, Research, Innovation, and Impact for Sustainable Development 2026, and for the invitation to send a welcome speech in the opening ceremony. The Mountain Economy Center from Romania is a research unit under the Costin Chirițescu National Institute for Economic Research of the Romanian Academy, which carries out fundamental, advanced, and applied interdisciplinary research in mountain area. The mountain area in Romania, also around the world, is facing major development imbalances, population aging, youth exodus, and lack of attractiveness for entrepreneurs. The relevant area of research, innovation, and smart specialization with significant impact on daily life of mountain peoples, to which scholars must find solution and provide recommendation for decision maker are mountain bioeconomy as a real alternative for sustainable development based on local resources, innovation and respect for nature, contributing to economic growth, social cohesion, and environmental protection, reducing the depopulation of mountain areas. Digital economy and spatial technologies are relevant for mountain research, innovation, and development in light of the disadvantages in infrastructure and communication that mountain area entails. Thus, the digital economy and spatial technology can ensure sustainability and increase the development of the mountain area. Energy and mobility are relevant in light of the role of the mountain area in renewable energy production and in achieving national, European climate objectives and the United Nations Sustainable Development Goals. Research contributes to the analysis of the economic and social impact of the energy transition, supporting the development of public policies for local energy communities, energy efficiency, and sustainable use of resources. Environment and eco-technologies. Mountain ecosystems are sensitive to anthropogenic pressure and the effect of climate change. Research includes investigation on pollution, risk factor, as well as circular economy direction with the potential to reduce the carbon footprint and improve waste and byproducts management. Health, prevention, diagnosis, and advanced treatment in mountain communities, oriented toward prevention and quality of life in the context of population aging and the increased interest in healthy diet and product with demonstrated functionality. As said in our presentation, our colleague, Dr. Madalina Iuga. Topics regarding the effect of mountain product on consumer health can support the development of products and services with an impact on prevention active aging. The last, human capital, labor, and value economy in the era of automation, digitalization, and artificial intelligence are a strategic role in anticipating and managing the profound transformation of the labor market and society in the context of accelerated technological advance and the substitution of human labor by intelligent technologies. That is why the first International Congress, Research, Innovation, and Impact for Sustainable Development 2026, through the theme Problems and Challenges Addressed, provide decision makers and international, national, regional, and local levels information that allow them to take the most appropriate measure in order to preserve unaltered disadvantaged mountain communities, places and destinations unique with great attractiveness for living. We are pleased to have you with us together here in the conference room and on Zoom, and we hope that the presentation you will see enrich your knowledge about the major role of research, development, and innovation in sustainable development of people's daily life from mountain communities and also around the world. Thank you very much for your attention.
Well, thank you, Doctor. Thank you, thank you, thank you. If you would allow me, I'm going to give the most important notes of your presentation. I'm going to do it in Spanish now. Is that okay? All right. So, en las palabras del doctor Sordo, en este primer Congreso Internacional sobre Investigación, Innovación e Impacto para el Desarrollo Sostenible, organizado por el Centro de Economía de la Montaña, en Batra Dornei, Rumania, se centró en impulsar la sostenibilidad y la resiliencia socioecológica de las comunidades vulnerables de montaña. En su discurso de bienvenida, el doctor enfatiza que el desarrollo de la bioeconomía de montaña sólida es esencial para combatir la despoblación regional. Esta evolución económica se fundamenta en la gestión sostenible de los recursos naturales, el crecimiento de la agricultura inteligente, las certificaciones de origen para productos locales y los sistemas de economía circular basados en residuos agrícolas. Asimismo, el turismo ecológico y la aplicación de ecotecnologías para la calefacción del hogar y la preservación forestal funcionan como herramientas críticas para mitigar el cambio climático y proteger el capital natural local. Para modernizar estas regiones aisladas y superar las brechas de infraestructura, el discurso resalta la integración de tecnologías digitales transversales y marcos sociales avanzados, la implementación de herramientas de comercio electrónico, inteligencia artificial y sistemas de trazabilidad digital amplia al acceso de los mercados para los productos de montaña, mientras que las soluciones de telemedicina abordan las limitaciones de la atención médica remota ante el envejecimiento demográfico. Al mismo tiempo, la acelerada transición hacia la automatización y la robótica exige nuevos modelos económicos que protejan el capital humano y las estructuras laborales tradicionales. En definitiva, menciona el doctor que este Congreso establece un marco de acción para que los tomadores de decisiones preserven estos destinos únicos y vulnerables mediante la innovación colaborativa. Thank you very much, Doctor. We've made just a small, just the most important parts and notes of your presentation. Thank you. So we will continue now, and I'm going to pass the microphone to Dr. Víctor Daniel Ávila Ackerberg, Director General del Congreso Mexiquense de Ciencia y Tecnología, the COMECIT, who is going to give us our institutional welcoming. Dr. Daniel, your microphone.
Good morning, Verónica. Buenos días, México, Colombia, Perú. Buena tarde, Rumania y Noruega. Bună ziua, bună dimineața, Romania. I want to greet with appreciation the present authorities. Voy a saludar a las autoridades presentes. En primer lugar, quiero saludar al doctor Ioan Surdu, Incatat Savar, Unosc Mutumeca este aici. También quiero saludar a las autoridades de la Subsecretaría de Educación Superior, a la doctora Rocío Serrano, al maestro Guillermo Calderón. Quiero saludar con afecto al rector de la Universidad Politécnica de Atlacomulco, al maestro Crescencio Reyes Hernández, qué gusto saludarle. Maestro, también quiero saludar a mi colega amigo, al doctor Francisco Herrera Tapia. Qué gusto verte, Francisco, saludarte, secretario académico de la UAMX. Y también quiero saludar a la doctora Sandra Blas y a todo el equipo, todas las personas tan activas que integran el RIDES, siempre echando rides a todo mundo para que se suban a esta modalidad de hacer ciencia con incidencia e innovación. Muchas felicidades. Good morning, distinguished guests, researchers, students, and representatives of government, academia, and industry. Buenos días a todas, como ya dije, invitadas, invitados, investigadores, estudiantes, representantes del gobierno, la academia y la industria. It is a great honor to welcome you and accompany the start of this first International Congress on Research, Innovation, and Impact for Sustainable Development. Es un honor acompañar este arranque del primer Congreso Internacional en Investigación, Innovación e Incidencia para el Desarrollo Sostenible. Today, we bring together talented minds from Romania, Norway, Colombia, Peru, and Mexico, including participants from universities across the state of Mexico and also Nayarit, from what I understand, united by a common purpose to generate knowledge, foster innovation, and transform ideas into meaningful actions that contribute to a more sustainable future. Hoy se unen mentes talentosas de Rumania, de Noruega, de Colombia, de Perú, de México, incluyendo participantes de diferentes universidades en nuestro estado y así como nuestro estado en costero Nayarit. Unidos todos por un propósito común, que es el generar conocimiento que pueda promover la innovación y transformar ideas en acciones con sentido que puedan contribuir hacia un futuro más sustentable. The challenges of our time, environmental degradation, climate change, geopolitical conflicts, social inequality, and the need for sustainable economic growth require collaboration across disciplines, institutions, but also across borders. This Congress is a space where science meets society, where innovation becomes a tool for progress, and where research generates real impact for communities and ecosystems. Los retos de nuestros tiempos, que tienen que ver con la degradación ambiental, el cambio climático, estos conflictos geopolíticos a veces absurdos, muchas veces luchando por recursos naturales, la desigualdad social y la necesidad de un crecimiento económico, requieren la colaboración entre las disciplinas, las instituciones y las fronteras. Este Congreso es un espacio para que la ciencia encuentre a la sociedad, donde la innovación se vuelve una herramienta para el progreso y donde la investigación genera impacto real en las comunidades y los ecosistemas. I invite all participants to take advantage of this opportunity to exchange experiences, build new transboundary partnerships, and inspire solutions that can benefit our countries and future generations. Invito a todas y todos los participantes a sacar provecho de esta oportunidad para intercambiar experiencias, construir nuevas colaboraciones transfronterizas e inspirar soluciones que puedan beneficiar nuestros países y generaciones futuras. Thank you for your presence and commitment. I wish you a productive and successful Congress. Muchísimas gracias por la presencia, por todo el compromiso para poder estar llevando a cabo este Congreso Internacional. Deseo que sea un Congreso muy productivo, muy exitoso. Cuentan con el COMECIT para fortalecer pues, las relaciones que sea necesario fortalecer. Saben que estamos impulsando mucho esto. Romania is a country that shares common things with Mexico. We have similar problems, but opportunities. So I'm looking forward to keep promoting these exchanges, these collaborations. So I'm ready when you tell me if it's needed to make the official inauguration. Me dicen si es necesario que hagamos una inauguración oficial o si viene un poquito después. Muchas gracias.
Thank you very much, Doctor. Muchísimas gracias por sus palabras. Claro que sí, todas son importantes, todas abonan, toda acción. Como dice usted, que nos subimos al trenecito abona, ¿verdad, doctor? Muchísimas gracias.
Unos rights.
I know, sí, los rights. Sí, so if you allow me now, I'd like to present doctora Margarita Rocío Serrano Barrios, subsecretaria de Educación Superior y Normal. She's going to give us the inaugural speech. Doctora Margarita, su micrófono.
Maestra Vero, creo que no se conectó la maestra Margarita.
Ajá.
Si nos pueden informar si llegó su representante, por favor, en sala. Si ya se encuentra Luis Alonso Rivera, director de vinculación de Educación Superior de Gobierno del Estado de México, ¿nos podría indicar, por favor? Bueno, me parece que no han llegado las autoridades. Vamos a solicitarle de nuevo al doctor Víctor Ávila, si me lo permite, nuestro rector, que nos ayude con las palabras de inauguración oficial para, pues ya ahora sí dar inicio a las mesas temáticas de este programa. Muchas gracias, doctor Víctor. Gracias, maestro Crescencio.
Pues con mucho gusto, de verdad es un honor estar acompañando esta ceremonia y bueno, compartir un saludo de nuestra gobernadora, la maestra Delfina Gómez Álvarez, de nuestro secretario, maestro Miguel Ángel Hernández Espejel. So I send you warm greetings from our governor, maestra Delfina Gómez Álvarez, our Ministry of Education, Science, Technology and Innovation, maestro Miguel Ángel Hernández Espejel. Hoy es un día importante, a ver cómo les va a la mitad del evento. Tenemos una Copa Mundial. We have the World Cup today. Good luck for Norway, good luck for Colombia and Mexico and the other teams of the different countries here. We hope good luck for the next occasion. So, siendo el día de hoy, el 11 de junio de 2026 y las 8:37 de la mañana, being today, June 11th of 2026, and around 8 o'clock in the morning with 37 minutes, declaramos inaugurado el primer Congreso Internacional sobre Investigación, Innovación e Incidencia para el Desarrollo Sustentable. So I declare the inauguration of the first International Congress on Research, Innovation and Impact for Sustainable Development. Muchas felicidades. Congratulations for this opportunity. I wish you the best. Muchísima suerte, que sea una jornada de muchísimo provecho y estamos a la orden. Tengan un excelente día.
So, thank you very much, Doctor. Thank you very much. Now, I would like to invite all of our authorities to please open up your cameras and make sure you have your cameras on so we can have the official picture photograph taken of the event. Solicitamos a todas nuestras autoridades nos puedan apoyar encendiendo sus cámaras para poder tomar la fotografía oficial de este Congreso Internacional, por favor. El equipo técnico nos apoya con la cámara, con la fotografía, por favor. Equipo técnico nos apoya para darle acceso a la cámara a la maestra Laura Méndez Olvera, por favor.
Claro que sí. Gracias.
¿Estamos listos, Doc? También en el chat nos comentan que ya está el registro para un Forms para poder registrar nuestra asistencia a la primera conferencia y a nuestra sesión inaugural. Si gustan acceder al link que ya está compartido para poder tomar nuestra asistencia, les agradeceremos bastante.
Listo. Muchísimas gracias por encender sus cámaras. Quienes lo pudieron hacer, ya hemos registrado las fotos correspondientes. Les agradecemos mucho. Ahorita vamos a dar paso a aperturar lo que son las salas individuales. Tenemos 4 salas para que nos podamos ir integrando y comencemos con la jornada en cada una de ellas. No sé si maestro Crescencio quisiera agregar algo más. Todavía tenemos unos minutos previos a continuar con la sesión. Quedo atenta.
Gracias, doctora. Muy buenos días a todos los participantes. Es para mí un gusto poderlos saludar, a mis compañeros que forman parte de esta red, de todas las instituciones que hacen posible este trabajo colaborativo en favor de la investigación, el desarrollo de la ciencia. Es para mí un gusto que las instituciones, además de talla internacional, pues nos acompañen y que busquemos esta sinergia conjunta. Agradezco en lo local al Tecnológico de San Felipe del Progreso, al Tecnológico de Estudios Superiores de Catepec, también de la Universidad Tecnológica del Valle de Toluca, de la Universidad Autónoma del Estado de México, que siempre están pendientes, y por supuesto al doctor Ávila Ackerberg, que ha sido un acompañamiento muy cercano a fortalecer esta red, que está dando ya una producción en investigación de manera muy importante. Por eso celebramos que aunque este día sea un día festivo, decirles que a nivel mundial pues tenemos el partido inaugural de la Copa del Mundo, pero sin embargo estamos pues muy atentos también al avance de la investigación. Decirles que la doctora Margarita Serrano estaba muy dispuesta a poder estar con nosotros, sin embargo temas de urgencia le impidieron estar como era su deseo, pero nos envía un saludo y el mejor deseo para que sea un éxito esta jornada, y a través mío les agradece el esfuerzo que hacen esta mañana por reunirnos y reflexionar en torno a la investigación, en torno a las preocupaciones comunes que este mundo tiene para tener un mejor entorno para vivir. Les agradezco mucho y que sea muy productiva esta jornada. Muy buenos días.
Muchísimas gracias, maestro Crescencio. Muchísimas gracias por el respaldo a todas las autoridades, a todas las instituciones que la verdad están respaldando esta iniciativa. De verdad, de todo corazón, yo les agradezco mucho, al equipo técnico también. Y bueno, vamos a, maestra Vero, dentro de nuestro programa, ¿alguna otra cuestión con la que me apoye para ir cerrando esta sala?
No, doctora, me parece que hemos terminado. Solo darles la indicación que en el chat, de acuerdo a la programación, ya están los links para poder integrarse a cada una de las salas. Si nos apoyan, pues dirigiéndose a la sala correcta, estarán ya todos los presentadores listos para esperando para poder presentar sus proyectos. Agradecemos. We would like to very much welcome all of our international authorities who were here with us today. Maestro Crescencio, thank you very much. And we also recognize all the work from the organizing committee. Thank you very much. And we really, really wish you all the best. Thank you. Muchísimas gracias. Damos pase entonces ahora a las salas que ya estén listas para presentar proyectos. Estoy a sus órdenes, doctora.
Muchas gracias. Comentarles a nuestras autoridades, a nuestros compañeros que están integrados aquí. Esta es la sala 1. En esta sala vamos a tratar los temas justamente de innovación alimentaria y ciencia de alimentos. Va a estar coordinada por la maestra Verónica y una servidora. Entonces, si se gusta, si es de su interés esta sala en esta temática, pues muy cordialmente están todos invitados. Si quieren redirigir a algunos colegas que estuvieran interesados en estas temáticas, pues vamos a estar abiertos para recibirlos en la sala. Comentarles, en la sala 2 vamos a hablar sobre innovación social y tecnológica. En la sala 3 vamos a hablar sobre innovación ambiental, bioeconomía y resiliencia climática. Y en la sala 4 vamos a hablar sobre innovación biotecnológica y también innovación pecuaria. Van a haber 2 bloques. Muchísimas gracias. Continuamos aquí. Vamos a comenzar ahorita la organización de las mismas. Muy buen día. Gracias.